Okay, so what I'm going to show you is how to add texture to your photos and such. Texture is really important in modern kind of 2011, 2012, photos. A lot of people have used it, but once again, a lot of the tutorials, the tutorials on the internet are pretty bland and basic as far as traditional film photo or portrait. So I'm basically going to give you a tutorial of how to do this modern uh, edits here. So, what we got here is the attached, tutorial. It's on the DVD with this instructional DVD. We've already gone through how to fix, eye color. If you notice, there. I mean, we wouldn't have it that high. It looks crazy. Just kind of, just push down a little bit. We got the eyes done. We've done the fixing of the complexion. We've done chroma key cutouts, so we cut this out. And in the last tutorial, we even did, blur edits on the side. So, if you notice, like it's chopped now because we chopped it, but we went from this basic photo to kind of a blur side thing like that. So we got a fixed up face, fixed eyes. The everything's cropped as far as a green screen. We got, we kind of edited some of the sides to do that little blur trick on the side for fun. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some texture to this. So all you got to do is, I would suggest visiting a website called deviantart.com. And on there, you got a ton of users and other artists that make brushes. They make textures, images, any of my photos I can upload, to my portfolio when I'm done. It's a pretty cool community, but you can download a lot of free brushes, a lot of free textures, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I just saved one of my favorite textures. So what I'm going to do is import that. Instead of importing, via that, I'll just hit open. Been using a lot of After Effects lately, so I'm used to importing, images as opposed to, being able to just open them. Okay, so I got a USB key, F. I got some textures here. These are just some textures that I saved from, the internet to do some stuff. What I'm gonna do is use my favorite one. Let's see, I got a lot of random stuff on here. There we are. So it looks like, this is my favorite one. It's, texture by Skelar Stock. Now, that guy is pretty awesome. This is my favorite by far, so we're opening that up here in a separate file. You'll see how it's kind of a scratched up, a texturized kind of thing. We call this texture grunge. Now, you can, on DeviantArt, type in grunge or grunge texture, and you'll get tons of files that'll pop up that you can copy paste, I suggest that if you do use any, of these, textures or grunges, do definitely credit the person that made them. It's kind of common courtesy if you take somebody else's, texture or something and utilize it to at least credit them for that. So, that's up to you. But here's the grunge texture. I just opened it, drug it into our image that we're working with. So I'm going to show you a cool little trick with texture grunge. Now what I'm doing is I'm just going to zoom this out. We're not going to use the borders. We're not going to use anything like that. We just want the straight up grunge of this. So there we go. So I got, I basically zoomed it, maximized it, made it super huge. So it's basically laying on top of all of this right here, this image. So now check this out. Here's a little cool tool. We already talked about this a little bit in chroma key, edits and stuff like that. But, I'm going to show you again. I'm going to duplicate this, grunge. So we got two of them just so I can show you two different things. So first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to unsolo those so we don't have the grunge on top. Now what I'm going to do is do what we did, in the previous lesson with the chroma key, chopping up, the background. What we're going to do is go to Select, Color Range. And what we're going to do is instead of selecting green to chop it out and stuff like that, what we're going to do is select black. Now check this out. I'm getting, the shirt, a lot of the shirt, some of the hair you can see. Let's do that. So what it's doing now is basically selecting all the black on his hair, and shirt, stuff like that, in that range. So what I'm going to do is, all the black selected. What I want to do is copy some of this grunge onto that. So it's going to be a little ambient, little twitch to it. So what I'm going to do is click second clicker. I think people still call them clickers. Make sure that your wand or the marquee tool is selected. But second clicker, select inverse. So now we got all this negative space, and the thing that's going to be left is the shirt, is the black areas, stuff like that. So watch this. I'm going to hit delete. Now we got all that. I mean, you don't want to have the image like that. It looks like he's wearing a weird t-shirt and he's got, bad case of lice basically. But, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that now. So, let's go to image adjustments. Let's, crank up the contrast, maybe even the brightness, just to make it pretty epic like that. Okay, so now we got, this texture selected, on all the black regions of his face basically. And I'm wondering, not a lot got into his eyes, it looks like. Plus we have, some of the eye things on there anyway, but let's go ahead and take this, the shirt texture, and let's lower it a little bit, quite a bit, so it's almost like vague. It kind of looks like his shirt's, stained a little bit, but, when we add the other grunge kind of stuff, it's going to end up looking a lot better. So, we lowered it in there. This is kind of pissing me off, this hair part, so, I'm probably going to straight up take the marquee, select that whole region of this grunge, and delete it, just so we, maintain his kind of, pretty looking, band face stuff going on. So, so there we go. I mean, we kind of got, a little grunge on top, and I'm going to show you why this is kind of cool. So here's the second one. I copied the same grunge. What I'm going to do is drag this underneath everything we have. So this is basically behind everything, it's basically just going to add when we decide to pick a background. It's just going to kind of add in there and edit up that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and keep it like this. We got a little grunge on his shirt, a little grunge in the background. So when time comes to add maybe like a dark picture, of a, who knows, a watchtower or some epic thing in the back, this is going to help us blend it quite a bit. And, we're going to get more elaborate in the next lesson about how to make this even grungier and kind of add those extra things that you need to do. So, this is basically a tutorial to adding textures to your photo. So go ahead and check that out. And then next lesson, we're going to get more elaborate into this.